Good morning, everybody. I keep toying with the fact that, let me adjust this thing. Hey, there we go. Yep, there we go. You know the love of an animal and the animal's love for you? There's nothing that compares with that. You know, you're married, your husband loves you, and you love your husband, but when it comes to an animal, there's more of a connection there than you can even imagine. And that connection is so great, it's unbelievable. Okay, I'm going to write something. I'm Tim Clark. I'm going to write you a song right now. And if I'm still awake in the love of life, I will talk to you afterward. Here we go. Every morning she would come to the door to go to work. There he was, this beautiful border collie, all black, with white hair on one side, one white foot. He was beautiful, and he would put his head upon her thigh. Look up, she would return the love he had for her. She would follow him, he would follow her. They would go to work together, and he would sit out front of the store all day, all day, all day, all day. The customers would come by and see the dog. The customers would come by and see the dog. Her business got better every day. She wanted to have the dog in the house. The landlord said it would be an extra $50, so she paid the money, and he would not come in, and he would not, actually wouldn't look and see nothing, but no, I'm not coming through the door, man. No, I'm not coming through the door. I will love you to death, but I will not come through the door. He had a phobia. He had a phobia. He didn't want to get stuck locked behind the door. What does that tell you? He had had a terrible life. door. He would never take the chance of being locked up because he wanted to love her another day, another day. Well, how about that, huh? Yep. I had a neighbor's Border Collie, black, white tip on one ear, 1 foot white. And that dog would come over every morning at the same time and be right there as I came out of the house. And he would go to the shop and he would wait outside as I worked. And every time I came out to take a break, he was right there. He watched me, he protected me. Whenever I was outside, he would protect me. And then at night, believe it or not, he would sit on the porch. As I came up the steps, he ran and sat on the porch. And he would sit there and he'd look at me. And he wouldn't come near me at all. And I would go into the door. And he would sit there until it was almost dark to where you couldn't hardly see anything. I'd open the door and I'd look at him and I'd say, "Time for you to go home." He'd give me that sad look and he'd jump off the porch and go home. And that neighbor was so cruel to him. It was so sad. So sad. But he found his love with me every day. And one day the dog was gone, never came back. He was so upset that he couldn't control the dog. The dog was mean, and he just couldn't handle it. The dog was mean because he didn't let the dog enjoy the life that the dog had as a free, you could say person. Because the dog had a personality, so therefore he was kind of like a person. And that's why he didn't want and didn't allow himself to be in a corner where somebody could grab him and throw him through a door. He would not allow that at all, even with the people that he loved the most. But you know what? That dog loved me, and I loved the dog. And it was so sad to find out that he just took that dog and handed it to somebody, and they took off with it. Really a sad day that was, I'll tell you. Anywho, that's the way love is, huh? Isn't it? Right? Just think about it. You get married and you find out your wife or your husband has this little niche, and you try to change that niche. And if you keep it up too long, guess what happens? You get a paper handed to you that says, "I want a divorce." And why? Because he feels trapped. He feels threatened. Do you get me? Do you understand what I'm talking about? Yeah. Those things do exist, not only from an animal, but through people also. And anywho, I'm going to shut up now. And I'll shed a tear later. I always get teary-eyed when I think about that dog. And you know what? I've never gotten another dog because I really don't want to go through the pain of losing that dog. I will continue to love that dog, even though he's probably dead by now. But I still love that dog. And any dog that's on the street comes over and says hi to me. And that's good enough for me. We'll see you later.